Hey everyone, we're coming towards the end of 2020 and this is a time of year that we're approaching where people have some time off to celebrate the end of the year and festivities with the family. And what better thing to do with that family than play some war games? Now, I have tried to convince them to play ASL and the likes with little success, but I have found a bunch of games that are brilliantly fun with your family and that they love playing as well. In no particular order. First up, Memoir 44, brilliant two-player game. Got toy soldiers and toy tanks, easy to play, easy to teach someone. Never had a bad game. We've played this to death in my family. The base game and all the expansions. Always really enjoyed it. My middle son, this is one of his go-to games. If we're going to play a board game, he'll say, "Can we play Memoir 44?" Never had a bad game. Love it. He always plays the allies. I always have to play the Germans. 878 Vikings from Academy Games. This is brilliant for 4 players. It's a brilliant family game. It is rich in history. The mechanics are straightforward. Again, I can teach this in about 5 minutes. I'll pick this one over the other ones in the series. They're all brilliant. Predominantly because A, it's about Vikings, and B, it's got little plastic Viking figures, which my kids love. It is brilliant fun taking control of your colleague, if that's the right word, army, and much hilarity ensues. Plus, like I said, it's very rich in the history side. I've used all the games in this series to help inform my kids a little bit about the history of our world, and love this. Brilliant fun, 4 players, brilliant. I've played it 2 players with my eldest son as well, and had great fun as well. Takes a bit longer. This one's probably more like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, something like that. There are shorter scenarios as well. Next up, from Daunted. There are 2 games in this series. Both I've played with my kids. Both a lot of fun. This is more of a card drafting game than a traditional hex or area-based game. The games are really close. They are, again, very easy to teach. It's a great layer of depth to the games as well. The components are top notch. You can set this up and play this in maybe half an hour. Some of the more introductory scenarios. You get a lot of game for your money with this. I would say this is probably as recently has played as much as Memoir in our family for World War II games. So yeah, brilliant. Love it. Next one. Okay, right. Tank Duel. If you can convince your family to play Tank Duel, you will have a great time. This is brilliant with more players. You can play it 2 players. I think it shines with 4 or more players, personally. It is a game that is very straightforward to teach and very straightforward to play, and everyone I've played with this with has had a lot of fun. Where I would say be prepared for, make sure you have the rules down before you play it, and go through the introductory scenarios, or if you haven't played it for a while, just refamiliarise yourself with the mechanics of this game. It's on my list. The only thing I would say is that you've got to get people over the fact it looks kind of like you need to know a lot about history, like the difference between the Soviet tanks and the German tanks. You don't. It just looks that way, I guess. Do you know what I mean? But if you can convince people to play this, it is brilliant fun, and it doesn't take long to play. 4 players. This is brilliant. 4 players with not much time. Brilliant. The next 2 games are maybe slightly more different than what you might expect, or haven't heard of them so much. Next up is any of the card games from littlebighorngames.com. These is a range of different card games. I've reviewed a couple of them. There's games in the Eastern Front, about the Western Front. This one's about the Britain. There's a new one coming out for Market Garden. This is a 2-player game. Doesn't take long to play and set up. Is very straightforward to teach. Very straightforward to teach. Can be played comfortably in half an hour. And I've played this with my eldest two sons, and we loved it. It's a brilliant, fun game. There's a level of strategy to it. Very light on the history. You don't, so there's no sense of, well, I don't know enough about that period of history to play with Dad type going on. Loved it. I can't recommend this enough. And as you can see, very nifty and small. There's a bunch of these. And then finally, again, a little bit different, another tank game. There's a surprise for those of you who follow my work. You will not be surprised that this video is going to include things with tanks. This is Tank on Tank East Front. This is by Lock and Load Publishing. There's 2 games in the series, Eastern Front and the Western Front. I was going to use the Western Front one, but I couldn't find it, so I think my kids have taken off and playing it probably. This is very straightforward to teach. This is more traditional hex and counter. I think it's a brilliant hex and counter introductory game as well, but doesn't take long to teach, doesn't take long to play. The components are wonderful. You get a whole bunch of stuff in this game for not much money. It's brilliant fun. My kids absolutely love this game. It is about tank battles with quite a few tanks. There's an element of strategy to it which is brilliantly fun. 2 players. I've tried playing it with 3 players with some mixed success, but I think this shines as a 2-player game. So yeah, a lot of fun. If you want to, I suppose, find games that are more introductory, and you've got this in your collection or you've been thinking about it, this is brilliant. Probably one of the better introductory hex games I have found covering World War II. So yeah, a lot of fun. So yeah, that's it. These are all games that I've played with my family extensively. There are lots of other war games that I could have put in on this list, but I wanted to make the video quite short. If you do have any other games that you have played with your family and friends around this time of year that you thought worked really well, love to hear about it. Put your ideas and thoughts into the comments. And as ever, thanks for watching. Thank you.